21 years old, our next guest's life changed forever when she attended a party at the Playboy Mansion.
Hugh Hefner, then in his 80s and a millionaire mogul, handpicked Crystal out from the crowd to become one of his infamous girlfriends, to travel the world and attend star-studded parties.
Yeah, they officially tied the knot in 2012 and remained what looked like in a glamorous marriage until his death almost 5 years later.
But all was not as it seemed. Crystal has now released a tell-all book on what life was really like, and she joins us now. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
Thank you
Crystal.
so much for
Nice
coming.
to meet you.
Here's the book, Only Say Good Things, by Crystal. But you've broken that rule now, haven't you? Because it's not all good things in this book.
Yes.
How do you feel about breaking that promise to her now?
I made a promise to Hef later in his life that I would only say good things about him when he was gone. He put me on the board of his foundation, and once I left the mansion, I went into therapy for about 5 years, and I realized that the place messed me up more than I thought it did. So I think, you know, it's time to tell the truth and tell people really what went on there.
Do you still have conflicting feelings and emotions for your time there and him?
Yeah, it's still conflicted, for sure.
Yeah. In what way? So, I mean, because obviously you had a relationship, you were married to him, and I think you were his carer for 3 years as well.
Yeah, in a way, I felt sorry for him. When I was there, I felt sorry for him. And ever since I knew him, it's like he was a kind of a lost little boy that created this lifestyle to maybe help his inner wounds, but it never helped. And yeah, he was sad.
Did he ever open up about things like that with you? Like, did he ever talk about why he ended up where he ended up?
He told me that he didn't really get love as a child, and you know, a lot of the girls he liked didn't like him back. So I think that was his way to prove them all wrong or get back at people. I'm not really sure. You know, I like to dive into psychology, and so I wanted to do that in the book, to try and understand how I ended up there and how he ended up in that position.
Well, let's talk about how you ended up there. How did it all start? How did it all come about? How did you even get in contact with Hefner?
Yeah, I'd never even seen or met a celebrity in my life. My friend asked me if I wanted to submit a photo to go to the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I'd ever be picked, but I was. And so we went up there Halloween 2008, and we saw a group of people. We assumed, like, that's Hef, and went over to the cabana, and I met him. It was crazy.
And he locked eyes on you straight away, didn't he? He made a beeline straight for you.
Yes, and I remember looking behind me. I'm like, it's me? Yeah, I felt chosen.
Did you feel special?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt very special.
So how soon was you living in the mansion?
After that weekend, I went...
No way.
Yeah, I went back home, and he called me and asked me to move in.
And how did that conversation go? 'Cause,
right?
like, what did he say? Like, do you want to come and move in with lots of other girls and live in my mansion?
Basically.
Wow.
It was on a voicemail, too, so it's very interesting. So I moved in with the twins, so it was myself and the twins there, and they were only 19.
And how did you feel when you were asked? Were you intoxicated by it? Were you excited by it? Did you have any kind of second thoughts or trepidations moving in?
This was a time where Playboy was more powerful and people idolized Hef. My role models growing up were Pamela Anderson and Carmen Electra and Jenny McCarthy. They were all in Playboy. And I opened the pages of the magazine and thought, oh, these women are so beautiful. They have the world at their feet. And so I thought it was a powerful, great thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
And what was the lifestyle like? Was it glamorous? Was it champagne? Was it parties? What did you get everything that you wanted out of it?
There were a lot of beautiful parties, but I realized early on that most of it's for show, and there wasn't much freedom. I ended up feeling very trapped there. Things changed pretty fast.
Well, the thing is, sorry, it's so interesting because you was an adult at the time. Some people might say, why didn't you just leave?
Yeah, I think back at that, and when I was 21, I felt like such an adult, but I wasn't, and now I'm 37 and thinking about myself at 21, like I was such a baby. I was so impressionable, and it's hard. Your brain doesn't really form fully for judgment until your late 20s. So.
Do you think you got institutionalized quite early? Like, you just, because like Alison said, you could have left, but you did. In fact, you did leave when you went back. So do you think you were institutionalized by the whole thing, or you just didn't know any different?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, Hef would tell me things like, dye your roots, or wear the right color, wear the flag, which is the Playboy logo. And he told me I was gaining weight. And so I just thought, oh, I'm slipping. I need to be the best I can be for him and for this place. And at first, I was like, I'm going to be the best I can be. But thinking about it now, I'm like, that was miserable, and I was controlled.
How long do you think it took before you realised this?
Within the first year.
Oh, wow.
Definitely within the first year, yeah.
And do you realise this with the other girls? Do you talk with the other girls? Are you good friends with the other girls?
I think Hef ingrained in us on a cellular level to despise each other. So I'm trying to still be friends with the girls. I'm trying to be friends with Holly and Bridget.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I feel if we met somewhere, like at a restaurant or anywhere else, we'd be friends.
It's so interesting that there was those strong women and you didn't come together and say, this isn't right. What sort of things did you notice? Because I know you talk in the book about the house was quite damp.
Yes. I got very sick, and we had the house checked for mold, and there was toxic mold everywhere.
Really?
It ended up being like a $2 million remediation at the house, and it's bad. It was very bad.
But you eventually married him. I mean, you did pull out of the... I don't know why you pulled out, but was it due to the fact that he was earning a lot of money and you wasn't getting any of it?
Yeah. When we were getting married, he was filming a show called Marrying Hef, and I was expected to be part of the show. My talent fee was $2,500, and I found out that he was making $800,000 per episode.
Did you have that conversation with him, or was that not the sort of...
Yeah, he handed me the release, and I said, oh, this isn't very fair. And I remember him asking me, oh, what are you in this for? And it gave me PTSD to all the interview questions. I was a low-hanging fruit. People would ask me horrible questions, and that was one of the reasons I left.
Crystal, what do you want people to take from this book? Like, obviously, this has helped you a lot, like getting over your experiences, but what do you want people to take from it?
I think it's bigger than a tell-all. I think it's an important message about self-worth, loving yourself, because I think if you have value on yourself and self-importance and self-worth, then you don't let people dictate that for you and take that away.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Say all the good things. Surviving the Playboy by Finding Yourself. Crystal Hefner is out now. Loose Women